premise, it doesn't move me.
Well, where do you get morality? How do you know who has rights and who doesn't?
Morality, human suffering. If I punch you,
so it's only wrong to kill people if they hurt. If you hurt, like they feel pain when you do it.
Morality.
Can you kill somebody in their sleep when they don't feel the pain? That's okay.
It will cause suffering to other people, and you're taking somebody's livelihood without permission.
What if you? So it's all based on, like, if somebody feels pain, that's the only reason why it's wrong to kill someone. That's crazy.
Morality is based on the amount of human suffering involved. If I killed you, your family would be sad. Even though
Why is it wrong to suffer? Why is it wrong to have pain?
Because inflicting suffering is wrong.
No. So that's just chemical reactions in your brain, right? Like neurons firing in a certain way to cause pain. Why is it wrong for neurons to fire in a certain way?
You're causing suffering.
Why is that wrong? What's wrong with that?
That's the problem with it.
Okay, so why is that bad?
You're causing people discomfort.
Why is it wrong to cause people discomfort? Why do you not want that to happen?
Because people don't live in a state of discomfort. I'm forcing discomfort on you. You're not choosing.
What's wrong with that?
Because that's not your choice.
What's wrong with having certain chemical reactions and neurons firing in my brain? What's wrong with that?
I'm forcing it on you. You're not
so why is that wrong?
Because you're not making that decision.
Why?
I'm inflicting pain without you or your consent.
What's wrong with that?
It comes down to consent.
So what? Why does it matter?
Because consent matters because you're a human being.
Well, why is it wrong to force yourself on other people and like hurt them? Why?
Because they're human beings and they have a ownership of their body.
Well, who says who? Who says they have ownership of their body?
That comes from human evolution. Since I'm a self-conscious being, I own me. I'm John McCrae. I control evolution.
Nobody said that. I mean, you say that, but like that's just your arbitrary opinion.
No, evolutionary biology says that.
Evolutionary theory doesn't say that you own your body and you have rights to your body. No, it says that. No,
it does say I own my body. It's just that I am what I am.
If somebody goes and eats your body or attacks your body or punches you in the face, so what? It doesn't matter.
That's why we make a contract with society. That's what society is to say, I don't hurt you. We make a society with the government that we give certain rights to the government so they protect me.
Well, what if people don't want that contract? What if they don't want to listen to that? Who cares? You know, it doesn't matter. It's just your preference, right? That's not a foundation for morality.
It's a foundation for morality. Human suffering is a foundation for morality.
No, not at all. There's no reason to believe that certain chemical reactions in the brain shouldn't happen. Why? Like, why does it matter?
Because it's about a consent. If I force myself upon you and I hit you, I'm inflicting pain. I'm inflicting those. And
there's nothing wrong with that. In evolutionary theory, there's nothing wrong with that. Is it wrong to rape people in your evolutionary theory? Aren't you just spreading your genes and like producing more children so that your race can spread, or like your genes can spread and gain dominance?
There is benefits to rape, but you put away your animal tendencies when you make a social contract with the government. It says, I give you these rights so you and me are protected from each other.
But not everybody has to listen to that so-called social contract, so it's meaninless.
If you choose to live in the United States, you're willing to decide to live to that contract.
No.
Yeah, you are.
You don't have to.
If you live in the United States, you're saying
people just force themselves on other people,
and then they face the punishment.
Right, and the punishment is somebody else forcing themselves on them.
And that's the point. The government says, if you hurt this person, we will hurt you. So it's a deterrent for me hurting you or you hurting me.
Sure, but you don't have to listen to it, and there's no reason to believe that like pain is wrong.
No, pain is wrong.
Why? You have no reason. You're just stating it. You're just saying it over and over again, but you're not giving a reason why. You're just saying, oh, we make the social contract so that we don't have pain, but you're not saying why it's wrong to have pain in the first place.
No, self-like cancer, that's not, you can't do anything about that. So we do. Pretty much what I was saying to you is, science is not a person that I conception.
No, like God says that it's a child at conception.
You're telling me that God says doesn't do anything for me because God is not science-based.
Right, and when you reject God, you don't have any standard for morality, and you don't have any standard for truth.
You don't need
No.
Okay.
Like, prove that you exist. How do you know that you exist right now?
The thing is, I can't.
So you're trusting in your senses from an evolutionary worldview, but if you evolved, right, you can't trust what your senses are telling you, right?
There's no proof that you and me are really a simulation.
Okay, then why are you trying to communicate with me?
Because you have to play out the simulation like it's real. But I'm doing with the assumption that this is not a simulation, that you're a real person.
Well, you can't have any knowledge in that worldview. Don't you understand? You're giving up knowledge, and when you're making knowledge claims at the same time. You're saying I don't know anything, but here's what I'm saying I know. But that you're contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're holding a worldview in which knowledge is not possible, while you're making knowledge claims and you're stating facts to me and you're saying things to me like they're facts.
Okay.
But you don't know that.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
From this reality that we are in, there are certain truths. This reality may not exist, but the reality that we are in now, there are certain truths of reality.
No, there's not.
There are certain truths of reality.
How do you know?
Because there's things that are proven facts.
How do you know? Like, how do you know it's a proven fact?
In this reality,
it could be a deception.
Water is H2O. We know that. That's something that's a truth of reality.
Well, what's H2O? Like, how do you define what like H2O is? How do you know what? How do you define what water is? Is water a material thing, or is it an immaterial concept in your consciousness?
Well, it's actually both. Water actually exists, but our concept of water, giving it a name, when I think of water, imagine something, it exists in my conscious too. It's both.
Oh, how do you know that it exists in the material? How do you know that?
Because I've drunk water, I've touched water.
Well, maybe people drink water in their dreams, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they imagine that they're drinking water, but they didn't actually drink water. So using your perception of drinking water is not a foundation for knowing that water actually exists in the material state.
And we see the effects of water in the material state. We see rocks decay. We see lakes form.
Yeah, but that could all be deception from your senses, right? Because you believe you believe that your senses evolved, right? In a random chance universe, so you can't trust your senses. You can't trust your perception. You can't trust your consciousness, because your consciousness is the result of different chemical reactions in your so-called brain.
I really don't. I don't even believe in free will.
So
the idea of like you can't trust your conscience, that's not for me. That's not even a decision.
Well,
everything we do is in a cause.
Well, I'm saying you can't trust that your consciousness is giving you the correct perception of reality in an atheistic evolutionary worldview, because you believe that your consciousness is produced by chemical reactions, right?
Yeah.
So chemical reactions, you're trusting in random chemical reactions to give you the correct perception of reality, but you can't do that. Because those are random chemical reactions. You don't know that they're actually giving you the correct perception of reality. It could be any random thing they're giving you.
We have to live like we do. Because if not,
you don't have to.
If not, we can't possibly do anything.
I'm saying you can't know anything in that worldview.
If I look at you and I say, I don't know if you really exist, I can't survive. If I say that none of this really exists, you can't function.
Right, that's why your worldview is stupid and you should give it up, man. Because your worldview doesn't make sense of reality.
Your worldview doesn't make sense of reality.
No. Mine does, because I trust what God's word says about the nature of reality. That I can trust my senses and my perception because I put my faith in the fact that God created my senses, right?
In that case, you don't know if water really exists.
No, but the Bible tells us that there is water, that God created water.
Cars are not in the Bible.
No, they're not.
How do you know cars exist?
Because I have a foundation in which God tells me in the Bible that He created human beings on planet Earth, and so that human beings exist on planet Earth, and then we look through history and we see that those human beings produced and they spread out and they advanced in technology, right?
Everything else you have to assume.
Well, no, the Bible's the foundation for my epistemology, how I know anything, you know? So like I have to put my faith in not what I think, because I could always be wrong. I should put my faith in what the Word of God says, because He knows everything and He created reality. And when He tells me the nature of reality, then I trust in that. And that actually makes sense of reality.
How do you know that's a reliable source? Because the Bible is not a proven fact.
Well, how do you prove anything?
That's my point.
Right. The proof for the Bible is that without the Bible, you could not prove anything. Without revelation from the one who knows everything, you who do not know everything cannot prove anything. You can't know anything. So the only thing you can know is what God who knows everything has revealed to you.
Ancient China. They knew math, they knew science, they didn't have the Bible. So they did know things. They know things that we have proven. They knew 1 + 1 is 2. And we know that's correct. So
they know things because the Bible's true. Even though they don't know about the Bible, they still use their senses. But if they hold to a worldview in which they say the Bible's not real, God's not real, they're contradicting themselves and they're just not being consistent. They can know things, but they don't have like a worldview foundation that makes sense of knowledge.
But there's no proof that the Bible is real. That's what I'm saying. You can't say the Bible's real because this is the proof of itself.
Well, you can, right? You can, because like if it wasn't real, if it's not the Word of God, if we don't have revelation from God who knows everything, then we can't know anything. You couldn't know anything.
We find out a lot of things without divine intervention.
No, how? How do you know?
Through evolution.
I've already showed you, man, evolution can't give you knowledge, remember?
Evolution can't give you knowledge.
No, because it's just random chemical reactions producing your consciousness.
Give me like 5 more minutes. I'm actually really enjoying this.
Yeah, man, it's your random chemical reactions can't give you you can't trust that that's giving you the correct perception of reality.
Okay, but that gives us a perception of reality that created cars and created roads and created bridges and stuff like that.
Because God created your brain, man, so you could do that.
I think that you and me have, our problem is that God created us. So it's not our perception of reality, and I believe no.
Because you couldn't trust your senses if they weren't created by a God who made you that way so that you could make sense of the reality He put you in, the world that He put you in. Yes.
Do you believe that there is a higher power up there? Like there's a watchmaker? Or do you believe in that God of the Bible?
It's the God of the Bible or no God. Only the God of the Bible. That is the truth. That is the only truth.
He has really human traits to be an all-knowing God. He created. Okay, I'm
God knows everything, man. What? Okay.
So you're recording me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm cool with that. I mean,
I have a GoPro, so I can tell that you're recording.
Yeah. Okay.
Where is this going?
Oh, YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
What's your channel?
It's called Matthew Wiersma. That's my name.
Matthew?
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I have a podcast, dude. If you ever want to talk on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect these conversations, man.
Yeah. This is about epistemology. It's about how you know what you know. It's very important. People don't think about it. They just assume that their consciousness is giving them the correct perception of reality, and they assume their senses are like telling them the truth, but they can't when they reject the notion that God created their senses.
You have to assume that your senses are telling the truth. Because if I assume that everything is wrong with society, then again, nothing really exists.
Right, your worldview doesn't make sense of reality. That's why you should give it up.
Evolution progresses where it helps us make sense of reality.
No, evolution cannot give you knowledge, man. Yeah. Random chemical reactions in a random chance universe cannot give you a consciousness to give you the correct perception of reality.
Selection gives you reality. I mean, gives you intelligence, gives you knowledge. Because the ones that are dumb are killed off.
Well, how do you know that natural selection happens?
Well, we see natural selection. It's a phenomenon.
Right, you're using your consciousness to see natural selection.
But we know that it happens. We know that the strongest animals reproduce. The smartest reproduce. The ones best fit to survive reproduces.
And so what? So that doesn't mean that the chemical reactions are giving you the correct perception of reality.
So the animals or the prehistoric humans with the best perception of reality, they reproduce. So their kids have a better perception of reality, and their kids reproduce.
But what are you using to know, to like see that they reproduce? What are you using to look at the fact that people reproduce?
Well, we know that
you're using your consciousness, right? To take in that information, right?
If I assume you exist, I assume that you come from a mother and a father, that somebody had to reproduce to create you.
Right, but you're assuming that, because remember, you're using your senses, you're using your perceptions, you're using your consciousness to see that. But like, if that's all a deception, then it's not really real. Then that's not true. Then reproduction really doesn't take place. Maybe it's something else that creates human beings. So you just think that it's reproduction.
Something like the Matrix.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if you're saying that we don't know anything, how do you jump to the assumption that the Bible's real? Because if there's no proof that there's a God up there. Because we need revelation from the God who knows everything, because we don't know everything.
We don't know everything, right? You don't know everything, I don't know everything. That means we could always be wrong about what we think we know.
Oh, excuse me for 1 second.
What?
What are you?
I'm a Christian. Like, because we could always be wrong, because we have limited knowledge, we could always be wrong about the nature of reality. That means we don't know anything. That means because we shouldn't. Everybody puts their faith in something. Atheists put their faith in their consciousness.
Yeah.
So don't put your faith in your consciousness, because that doesn't work. We should put our faith in a worldview foundation in which God created our consciousness, revealed to us by the Bible.
It's more rational to put your faith in consciousness, because you know consciousness exists. Well, there's more proof that consciousness exists.
Well, how do you know what your consciousness is? How do you know what your consciousness is?
I know I think, so I know I exist.
Well, no, you say I, but how do you know it's you? Like, it could be different consciousnesses giving you different, like, experiences coming together to make it look like it's one experience, one lifetime for one person, when it's different consciousnesses in different parts of the universe.
There's no proof or rationality that
thinking different things.
See, like,
no, it could be happening, right? You acknowledge that could be the truth, right? But you don't know.
I mean, it also
you don't know
that we're in somebody's dream.
Right. You don't know.
Conscious and we're whatever they're cooking up in their brain.
Right. So you don't know. It could be anything. That means you can't know anything because you could always be wrong. You're just assuming one of a bunch of different possibilities, right?
I'm saying you are too with the Bible.
No, I'm not, because I'm not assuming one of different possibilities. I'm assuming the only thing that can provide knowledge in the first place. Knowledge is justified true belief.
See, let me ask you a question. Would we agree, or we say that there's a God that exists, but it's not the God of the Bible? That there is an all-knowing being who is, let's take the agnostic approach. He created us and he wants to see what happens. Kid, is there a middle ground there? Do you say that could be a reality?
No. How do you know about that? Where is the revelation from that God?
Where's the revelation from this God?
The Bible.
Because man wrote a book?
Yes, God inspired men to write the Bible.
God inspired J.K. Rowling to write Harry Potter. Does that mean wizards exist?
No, because that book doesn't provide the preconditions for intelligibility. It doesn't tell us about. It doesn't provide a worldview foundation for knowledge.
Okay.
Like the Bible does.
Take any great religion. They provide a real view of morality and knowledge.
They do, but you have to do an internal critique of that religion and look at the religion. And if you study them, you'll realize that they refute themselves, they contradict themselves.
The Bible does that.
They're incoherent.
The Bible contradicts itself multiple times.
Where does the Bible contradict itself?
Would you like me to Google verses?
Sure.
And also, let me ask you a question. Do you find slavery as moral?
There's certain forms of slavery that are acceptable in the Bible.
I'm saying, when is slavery okay? When is me forcing you to work against your will ever okay?
I don't know if it's okay for you to force me against my will.
Yeah, that's slavery.
I think there's kinds of forms of slavery where it's more like a bond servant, where they like